So I had an interesting problem where I reached a sort of singularity of stuff happening. No, not a singularity, but basically, so much stuff was happening so quickly that I forgot to record. So ironically, the bit that probably would have been most interesting to record was not recorded. Anyway, as you can see by this image, the world is slightly different than when I last showed it to you. I probably, 2 days have passed since I last recorded. I should have recorded yesterday because things were happening, but I didn't because I was busy. I forgot. Anyway, I have more vassals now. My congreviate has become 2 people richer. We now not only have Fallen and Donakulda, but we also have Redman is this guy's name, and Hermes, I think this guy calls himself. Anyway, Hermes is down here in Helsingörs, and Redman is in Kupferberg and also Swinville. They are both new players, and I said I didn't want new players to join the game, but ultimately I think I actually like that, because a new player is not so jaded with the game's mechanics. For a new player, this is all, well, new. It's all interesting. It's unfamiliar. It's there are mechanics that the players can play with, and so I think I can utilize that initial enthusiasm in order to generate a prospering civilization. Because I highly doubt they will abandon their games because they are new, because they're interested in trying things, developing their civilizations. Like, for example, this guy, Redman, spawned in Kupferberg, and Kupferberg is terrible. I only made it a colony because it was such a terrible tile. I didn't want to keep paying for it. All I wanted was the copper. The rest of it could just go die for all I care. So anyway, he spawned there, and it was awful. And so he then moved and settled Swinville. And I gave him tons of stuff. You see him quite far in debt, because I gave him potatoes and hoes and shovels and axes, and I actually, why not just show it to you? And here we are, Swinville, except you might know it by a different name if you watch this series, because you can see the ruins of my 2 mines here. This is the old settlement of Gelbkrantz, which is now, as the generic name Swinville. That's one of the automatically generated names. I don't know why he accepted that, but whatever, I guess that's the name he wants. He's a new player, so you can see he's put his industries in odd places. There's his potter, and over here is a woodcutter. Here are sheep farms. There's his butcher. He built 2 farms here, and he built builders, and he has a stonecutter there. He followed my advice. Very good. I told him to put his mud digger on the edge of the map because this black space counts as diggable soil. Yes. Yes, he listened. Very good, very good, very good. This guy seems quite cooperative and attentive. I think this guy will be a good vassal. He also has plenty of apples to start another farm, and so now he's just waiting on his population to increase. And he even built the houses that I told him to build. Fantastic. He listened to my advice. Very good. We had a long discussion on the Discord server where I was instructing him how to do things, and he was very grateful, and he understood quite quickly. So this guy's pretty good. I also learned that my vassals watch these videos. The vassal who has woodcut, Donakulda, sent me a message saying, "Hey, I noticed that you called me stupid in the video." Okay, I didn't call him stupid. It's not exactly what he said, of course, but I now know that maybe I should be more careful about what I say, or I could continue to not be careful. That works too. Anyway, Helsingörs was just inherited about 30 minutes ago, I think, and so it's just about the same as it was when you last saw it. However, those things are interesting, but they are not, of course, the primary concern of these videos. This is the Chronicle of Solburg, obviously. It's about Solburg, right? It's about the capital. Anyway, Solburg has been growing very slowly, and I'm a bit annoyed with it. What was that? Annoyed. For some reason, I had a weird way of pronouncing that. In any case, I'm staffing the government buildings, and conflict's going down, loyalty is going way up, because now I have 61 state power! Whoa! I have so much! This is fantastic. It's so much better than what it used to be. So with all that state power, of course, my waste has gone way down, which means my income has gone up, which means I am able to afford to buy shovels, which is good because I just unlocked Code of Laws, which was the 3,000 coin research project that I was really afraid would fail because it was so expensive. And money is a little short for me. I desperately need money now because I had to spend so much money helping Redman develop his city, because of course he started with basically nothing. And if I had not given him money, his population would have just starved and he wouldn't have been able to do anything. So I needed to help him. But anyway, now he's stable. Now he can do his thing. However, I did promise to him that I would finance his development. And so I told him, you can go into debt as much as you want. I'll pay off all of your debt. No problem. I'll just keep sending you money. And then I proceeded to spend 1,200 coins. But I'll show you what I spent them on. I think you'll approve. See what I have created! I made many houses. I decided... I went into debt when I was helping Redman, and I thought, well, since I'm in debt now, I might as well just finally build all this stuff that I kept not building because I didn't want to go into debt. and I built lots of houses. In fact, I think most of these houses don't have people living in them. I might have built actually too many houses, but that's totally fine. That means I won't have to build any more for a long time. Which means I should have almost no more slums. The people should be in the process of moving out of the slums. Yeah, there are still a few slums scattered about, but they'll move. So once the people move out of the slums, there will be almost none. Which means that the average life quality will increase quite a lot. I'm almost to 30. Now, of course, the population still isn't going up, but that's fine. And I also noticed that we've only just today, or was it yesterday? Today or yesterday, we reached the population level I had before I founded Helsingörs. I don't know why, but for some reason, this has just been incredibly slow. And so I'm afraid to develop anything more for fear of this becoming a problem. And I'm not sure why the population isn't increasing either, because, well, for one thing, conflict is way lower than it used to be. It's about 10 points lower than it used to be. And I'm providing food. Fish is good, 98%. Meat is at 88%, wheat's at 94%, apples 88%, cider's a bit low, admittedly, yes. Bread is at, 82%, potatoes are at 82%, 88%. It's all good. The apples are really the problem because of the cider production. But I can fill in the rest of this space with another apple farm because I unlocked Ard, which allows me to build the next level of farm. And I also got, most importantly, Code of Laws, like I mentioned earlier, which allows me to build this guy, which is the higher level justice building, which I'm not sure exactly how many elders councils this equals, but basically I can build one of these and then turn off a bunch of elders councils and use those people for other things. Very exciting. And I also was keeping this space over here free for exactly this kind of building. Haha, this is perfect. This is exactly where I want to build that sort of thing. It'll be great. But I need 4 more shovels to do that. And also a lot of money. And money's the problem. I only have an income of 200, only. And I'm hoping that my vassals will become rich and expand so that I can tweak their taxes. At the moment, all my vassals are Felgraves except for Donakulda, who's a Burgrave, and I've also increased his taxes slightly, but only his tax in power. All of these guys have a 5% income tax. The Burgrave is basically the worst vassal for me because it's in between the high power transfer of the Felgrave and the high income tax of the Margrave, and in between, it's just kind of nothing, and it annoys me. It's just too little of both. In fact, Why have it not be halfway? So this is at 20 income and 20 power. Why not make this 10 income, 10 power? Well, because that would just tax Donakulda specifically. He's the only Burgrave. And I don't want to do that because it's not really fair to him, I think, to make a new policy that only affects him and not anybody else. So probably I will change the tax rates once I have more Burgraves. And presently, I definitely don't have any vassals who are capable of being promoted to Burgrave status. So I'll just leave it at that. Oh, what else has happened? What else has happened? I have this huge stockpile of copper ore because I ran out of wood, and so I stopped smelting, which was a big drain on my metal reserves. And also I gave a lot of my tools to my vassals, and so now I have to resupply all of these tools, and it's requiring a long time, and these things are just so expensive. Oh well. Anyway, because I have 61 state power, I can definitely found another settlement, and I will found one, but it'll be a good one. It'll be not some crappy mountain town that just mines 2 copper ore and that's it. No. It'll be an excellent one. It will be somewhere else, and I will show you once we go through the loading screen. Wait, I don't have to do that. Right, the loading screen only happens when I go into a settlement, not when I leave a settlement. I also know that Hermes, my vassal in Helsingörs, watches these videos. At least I know he told me he watches these videos. So hello, Hermes, if you're watching. Of course, this video probably won't be posted until a week after I record this or something like that. So hello from the past or the future. I don't know, whatever. In any case, I plan to expand over here near Helsingörs, either to this tile or to that tile, because they're both forests and because they both have good farmland. And I definitely need the farmland. And I will turn these into... one of these will become a food production center that will ship all of its stuff to Solburg. And it will make Solburg big and great and powerful. Not that Solburg isn't already big and great and powerful, but it could be better. Anyway, that is something I'll need to invest in much later, because right now, of course, I need to recover my funds. My income keeps fluctuating quite a lot. It's rather annoying. I also need to finish researching this stuff too. Bloomery will require another 1,000, apparently, as well as 40 charcoal. And it only has a 50% chance of success, although I think if I actually calculate it with my metallurgists, it's 100%. Oh, okay. All right then. And that'll give me level 3 foundries, which probably require tools I don't have. And I don't know what sewers does, and I've wanted to get it for a long time, but I just never had the stuff to do it because I just need money. Anyway, I won't have another building spree for quite some time. I'll build 1 or 2 buildings, of course, but I think my building will pretty much just stop for a while until I remember to press record. Okay, good. I didn't forget. You have no idea. Actually, yeah, I suppose you don't have any idea how often I forget to press record, because of course if I forget to press record, it never is put in the video. So you would never know, but trust me, it happens a lot. Anyway, what else was something else? Oh yes, I have been developing Tongrube because I don't want to take people away from Solburg anymore. So I've now decided to make Tongrube the source of my colonists. So I've developed Tongrube quite a bit. It has a high growth rate, and it now has its own sheep farm and its own meat production, and it is, I think I also have it consuming more of its fish. Yes, it's now only exporting 2 instead of 3. So it is a much more amenable place. I also built some more houses there. As such, Tongrube should be a place where I will be able to extract 30 or 40 people to go found another city, and then probably extract another 30 or 40 later in order to give the city some more people. However, that won't happen until, I don't know, sometime later. According to my current income, I'll need probably about 10 cycles or so just to recover my current losses, and 10 cycles is 15 hours, so that's quite a while tomorrow tomorrow afternoon, I guess. Anyway, that's the plan. I want to research more stuff, as always, and I want to build that magistrate. That's my plan. And after I build a magistrate, I will wait to accumulate money so that I can found this colony, which will, of course, then consume a lot of resources, which I will be able to spare, of course, because I will be able to accumulate them now that I have the state power and stuff to do that. Axes is still super expensive, though, because they're not state-owned. However, I have a nice stockpile of planks and bricks, or, well, I did, but I built those houses. No, I don't. But that's okay, because the bricks were only for building houses. Now that the houses are built, I don't need bricks anymore. So I can just forget about that. And I have plenty of clay, too, so I can turn off the mini clay diggers. I built something like 6 or 7 level 2 clay diggers in Tongrube, but now, of course, that I don't have the brickworks on anymore, my consumption of clay has been reduced, so I can just stop producing so much clay, and it doesn't matter. And then that will be the source of my colonists. What else was I going to say? Yes, Synfed is where I've moved my hoe and hammer production. I tried to make hoes and hammers out of metal, but then metal hammers are worth a lot of money, while flint hammers are worth not as much money, and they are effectively the same. They do the same thing. They're both hammers, so I make them out of flint in Synfed. Synfed is my favorite. No, it's not my favorite, but it's a very useful place. And it also is the source of the potatoes, which I am shipping to, well, everywhere, basically, to feed Solburg, to build more farms. So Synfed is very important, and I actually haven't mined any tin in Synfed in quite a long time, and I'm running out of tin, although I still have plenty. However, eventually I'll need to mine some more tin. Okay, I think I've rambled enough. You get the idea. I suppose I'll be back, I don't know, in a few hours, I guess. No, did I say hours? About a day, probably. Oh, I'll need something like 20 cycles to get enough money to build everything. And of course, I'm losing a lot of charcoal too, and I'll need to conserve some of that for, actually, we'll just set the minimum to 40 there, so that I have enough to do the research. And other than that, I think I'll just wait for my vassals to develop their civilizations. So I'll be back once something else happens. Greetings! Not so much has happened in the past day. The first day of the month was quite hectic, with the players joining and needing to establish their settlements and asking me questions about how to start the game and so on. But since then, they've been pretty quiet. I think they mostly understand how to play the game now, and they can use trial and error to progress without worrying about destroying their settlements in the process. Anyway, Solburg has developed a bit as well. I have researched a few technologies, however they are not very impressive. I got manure fertilizing, which does nothing by itself, soil collectors, which does nothing by itself, and bloomery. That one's pretty good. Bloomery unlocked these level 2 foundries, which are obviously very good. They consume many resources. They're actually not working at full capacity right now because they have a negative income. But at full capacity, they consume, I think, 9 ore each. 9 ore and 5 charcoal? I think that's right. I don't remember exactly. In any case, they consume a lot of it. And so now my copper ore stockpile is being reduced. And so is my charcoal stockpile, and that's just fine. And now my bronze worker has enough copper and tin to be at full blast on his bronze production. And that's enough bronze to feed all of my workshops, so I don't really need to focus anymore on smelting. However, I don't have any tin being imported. I stopped doing that quite some time ago. I should probably turn on those tin imports again. Although the settlement that was producing tin, Synfed, is now producing potatoes and stone and wood. So I'll need to refocus its population as well. I also built some sheep farms in Synfed, so it could have a butchery to help increase its population by a small amount. Because those tin mines will require 16 workers. And they currently have no workers available. That'll require some redistribution. In any case, that's also where I have my tool production, because, as I explained in the last section, producing tools with metal is too expensive, although I'm doing it anyway here because I really need hose, for a reason I will explain shortly. Besides that, I've thought about reactivating my furniture maker, because I have bronze and leather and wood now, though I think I'll actually not bother with furniture until I enter the Iron Age, because then, of course, I'll have extra bronze that I won't need, and then I can use it for furniture. At the moment, though, my bronze is much more precious. It's much more important for my tool production. I've also reactivated my sawmill and brickworks because I need more bricks and planks. That's pretty self-explanatory. What else? What else? Oh, yes, something important. I had positive 70 state power. And it was so much extra state power that I actually could afford to deactivate the Parliament, which cost 40 coins. And so now my income, despite financing the production of planks and shovels and hose and bricks, is still very high because I don't have to pay for that Parliament. However, with the settlement that I spoiled it. You didn't hear me say that. With the I'll say it. So I'm planning on starting another settlement, and I have the individuals that will found it ready. They're in a party. They're just collecting action points at the moment. Once I found that, I will need to restart the Parliament, which will cost another 40 coins per cycle, but that's okay. What else? What else am I doing? I've also increased production of apples and wheat. As you can see, the farms out here have been constructed. There are also very few slums remaining because I've built many houses. Should that be a perfect past tense? I have built houses? No, I built houses. Yeah, just past tense. Well, I suppose it could be perfect past tense. Regardless, there are more farms now. And I hope to be able to satisfy the need for wheat at 90%, as well as the need for bread at 90%, and the need for potatoes at 90%, apples I mean, and the need for cider at 90%. But that will require many, many, many more apple farms, hence my founding another settlement. I also am importing more potatoes, which means that my potato consumption availability has gone up to 98%, which means that my people now are increasing in population, whereas they were not earlier. And once the apples are being distributed again, they'll be increasing in population anymore. Much more. Even more. That was the word. What else? What else? I built another... I should actually give this thing a... Can I click on it? I built another carpet maker. That has no diddly-doop at the moment. No thingy-mabob. No English. Market stall. This built. I feel as though I'm speaking much more slowly today. Perhaps I'm just tired. Anyway, I've upgraded my farms as well, as you saw. And I don't have enough crops to expand this production yet, but I shall. That'll occur in the next few days. And I think that's everything I need to show you in Solburg. The rest of my civilization has been going just fine. My vassals have not built very much. Oh, that's a white screen. Interesting. Warning, encoding overloaded. Consider turning down video settings or using a faster encoding preset. Okay, I have never gotten that message previously. Anyway, the rest of my civilization is just fine. I haven't checked on Suamar in a while, or Irontown, but Swinville is okay. So is Helsingörs. I don't think you need to see them. They haven't built very much. They seem to be experimenting with things. I think they've built buildings, then destroyed them, realizing that they built them incorrectly. They're learning, it's fine. Anyway, these are the settlers that will produce my next city. They need a few more action points. And I've also not decided whether I will found it here or here. This tile is plains, while this tile is rocky. So this tile is slightly better for farmland. However, they're both oceanic tiles, so they're both amazing farmland regardless. This one has a little bit more land than this one, because this one has a coast on two sides, kind of like Solburg. So it suffers, but it has, because it's plains, it has some areas that are 4 fertility, while the fertility here is maximum of 3. However, that's still fine. It's still plenty. It's a difference between producing too many apples and producing way too many apples. And so I don't think it matters. I also want to continue developing the highway from the south to the north. And so settling a city here would not really help in that regard, because these 2 tiles would still not be settled. Plus, this would have a higher cost for me because it's more distant from my capital. So I'm thinking I'll settle it here, even though this is rocky. I am quite pleased, though, that I can go from here to here for just 5, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 or 7 action points. Remember toward the beginning of the series where I had to spend days encamped with my little group along this coast, waiting to move 1 or 2 tiles so they could spend another few days encamped? And now, of course, I'm doing so much more. Ah, yes. It's being able to go up to these mountains for just a few action points is quite the change, and I'm so pleased with the development of my civilization. Oh, also, victory points. I saw that the Tsardom of Bukovina got 2 victory conditions simultaneously. They completed the gold one, and they also completed another one immediately thereafter, which was have the most territory of any nation. And so they just got 2 like that. And now the current ones are largest city still, which I have no doubt Bukovina will do, and also strongest army, which I definitely won't do considering my army is, where is that? Is it presently 1 out of 7,000. So I probably won't succeed much there. Whoa! What's happened down here? I didn't even notice this. What are all these? Rebel cities? These are all generic names for rebel cities. These are barbarian. No, they're not barbarian camps. What are these rebel cities? What's this? Did more players spawn down here? Oh yes, there's another player down here. In the Empire of Doom. Well, perhaps I'll send him a trade agreement, I guess. He's missing quite a lot. That's fine. I will tell him hello. Hello and welcome. Yeah. Okay. I'm not really sure why all these independent cities spawned. I guess they could all be inherited by players. I thought this area would become overrun by noobs, but that did not happen, actually. This guy is the only one to have spawned here. Nobody else was inherited. Oh, this one's also a rebel city. I'm not sure what's happening with the rebel cities, though. Well, whatever. Anyway, these must have all been spawned by random events in World Generation when a player joined the game or something. I don't know. Anyway, I'll settle here, and I'll be back to show you what the settlement looks like after it's done being built, which will be in a few hours. I have now recorded in 3 days. I just forgot. I meant to, and just completely escaped my mind. I was busy with real life stuff and also with stuff in the game, and I just suddenly remembered, oh yeah, I make YouTube videos sometimes. Probably I should do that again. Oh, from the demolition of charcoal clamps. There's a hint about what you're about to see. Anyway, this is Porkamore. What is Porkamore? Well, it's Donakulda's to-be satellite city. This is his colony. I strongly suggested to him that he make a colony, get it to 150 population, and then release it as a colony so that it could be inherited by another player. And he's in the process of doing that now. And also, as you'll see, the civilization has developed quite a lot since I last recorded. Well, I don't quite remember exactly how things were when I last recorded. Better put these guys back in Solburg. What technologies? I know I had sewers last time. Laser grazing too. I got storage hauling, unlocked better warehouses. Woo. Also, I got plaster and coke. Plaster and coke. Well, the plaster is used to make higher level buildings, though I can't build it yet because I don't have limestone, although I'm getting limestone. But coke is the next level fuel, and coke is made from coal, not from wood. So I don't need wood very much anymore. I need a little bit of wood, but my need for wood has suddenly just vanished, really. So once again, just like with woodcut, I founded a woodcutting settlement, and then shortly thereafter my need for wood disappeared. Oh well. Anyway, not much has happened in my vassal cities. I've been poking around their cities. Sumar has quite a lot more houses, and so does Irontown. Swinville has some houses and some farms as well, but mostly things have been pretty quiet. I also been trying to do some exploring again. I sent some guys out here, and they found nothing. And I have these guys here collecting action points. They won't have enough action points for quite a long time, but when they do, I'll send them out across the ocean, trying to find something out there. I don't know where that chiefdom of barbarians guy came from. I don't understand how he reached this peninsula if he's living somewhere else. I wish I could ask him, but he went inactive. So I guess we'll just have to always wonder. I assumed that there was a little bit of land nearby where he was based, and I just hadn't found him, but I keep looking and looking, and I can't find him. Maybe he's over here, maybe he's up here. I don't know. However, all of my cities have been increasing in population quite massively because I made them all have access to meat. I gave them all sheep farms. Well, except for Kupfa Hürgel, there's not enough space for sheep farms, so I'm just importing meat there. But that's fine. I've upgraded sheep farms in Solburg as well, so now Solburg is producing tons of meat, so much meat, and exporting a lot of it, and lots of sheep as well. I'm slaughtering most of them, and I'm building a lot of things in Solburg. I'll show you those things in moments. Tongrube, I got those explorers from Tongrube, and I reduced its population by 30, and so it's slowly working its way back upward, and it was my clay-producing settlement, but of course, I had no clay anymore after I removed all the clay diggers, and so they're being replaced. But soon they will be completely replaced, and we'll have all of the clay we need for everything. Oh, what else? Kupferhügel is... Actually, I will show you Kupferhügel. Things have happened there. Because Kupferhügel used to produce wood, but I don't need wood anymore, I deactivated all wood production here and used those people instead in my now functional coal mines. Oh yes, we're digging plenty of coal here, and we could dig a little bit more as well, and there's space for even more coal. See this? We're not done here at all. More coal, more coal, more coal. Also, there's a coal mine over here as well. Just a little patch there, but it's producing coal. And I also have these limestone quarries, which are not being worked at the moment. We need more people here, but we're importing meat, which you can see here. This is the lowest level merchant I can build. Because of a UI bug, I'm not allowed to... Where are they? Here. I'm not allowed to select the level 2, level 1. They're supposed to be displayed down here, but they're not because this game is hilarious. Anyway, it's... This place now has fish and apples and meat, and so the people here are reproducing. So it's good. I don't plan to build houses anywhere though, because I don't want these places to become huge population centers. I don't really care about that. What else I want to show you before I show you Solburg? Sinfeld has been busy as well. I think I'll do a tour of my civilization once every 2 videos. I think that makes sense, because that would be then maybe about once a month. Well, no, once a week, once every couple of weeks, whatever. It would be more time for things to happen. Sinfeld just has more flint collectors and a sheep farm. Other than that, Sinfeld hasn't been doing very much. Sinfeld does have coal, I noticed, but I haven't built any mines there or anything, so it's just increasing in population slowly at the moment. We'll come back to Sinfeld later. And Außenfelder also has many available jobs. I just need population here. Außenfelder will be a hugely rich place, I think, once I finally finish developing it. But that will take a while. But of course, now to finally show you what I need to show you, Solburg. This is the last piece of undeveloped land in Solburg, and it's only undeveloped because I keep forgetting to build stuff here. I need to import some hose and just build some farms there. It wouldn't take very long, or very many hose, and then that would it. That would be the last bit of Solburg that's not developed, but I just keep forgetting. Whatever. Anyway, Solburg is, its population is a little bit higher now. A little bit. Could be a lot better though. However, I am importing much more leather and using it to make more leather cloth, which is no longer a luxury item. It's now much more commonly available. Of course, I'll need a lot more leather in order to make enough leather cloth to give everybody cloth, and of course I'll also need plenty of wool to make enough normal cloth as well, and that all has to happen in Außenfelder. But of course, that's not what I'm here to show you. I'm here to show you this. Look at what I have created. I have made coke. These kilns, I made 2 more kilns, are using coal to make coke, and the coke is amazing. It's way better than Pepsi, and it fuels these guys with only 1 unit. And also I can just produce a lot of it, and it doesn't require any wood. And so everything is now using coke except for the bakeries, which for some reason can't use coke. However, they will use the rest of my charcoal. They'll need a few days to finish using it, and then once they finished off my charcoal, they'll just use normal wood. That's fine, it doesn't matter. I also have built another tax collector place because the population was high enough that we didn't have enough tax collection, but now that we have that, we should be good on that for a long time. Plenty of tax collection now. Waste has been reduced, although waste is still pretty bad. But it's okay. What else? I'm building more cider mills as well, because I'll be importing more clay from Tongrube, which means I'll be able to make more pottery, because I'm producing plenty of coke for all of my potters and my foundries, which aren't doing much founding anyway. Founding? That's not what they do. Smelting anyway, because I have many metals. But also I need these cider mills to increase the the cider production, alcohol availability. I need to basically double my cider production, which will require me to, well, import about 20 apples, which is not a small amount. But Außenfelder can do it. I just need to develop it. Needs more people, needs more time, but it's fine. I also made way too many bricks on accident. And now, of course, I can produce these planks non-stop because I don't need wood for anything else. Well, not much for anything else. There was something I also wanted to show you. I don't remember what it was. Oh, yes, that's right. Of course. I'm doing a bit of building. It's not done yet, but these will be my fancy schmancy high-level warehouses that will be able to hold so much stuff I'll never need to worry about storage space ever again. Also, I meant to upgrade these and I just forgot. Let's do that too. Oh, right, and then the planks. Well, whatever. Anyway, I'm sort of ridiculously rich, and what I plan to do is import lots of coal. Außenfelder also has coal, so I will mine coal everywhere, import it to Solburg, and then Solburg will have lots of kilns that will turn the coal into coke, and then I will then export the coke to all of my vassals. I will be the coke production center. They shall never have any more Pepsi again. That joke was funny the first time, maybe the second time, not so much. Regardless, I'm happy. I'm rich. Things are going well for me. However, we do need more wheat and apples. I'm losing wheat, and I need to distribute more apples to the population. I need more apples to get cider. So things are a bit slow at the moment, but once Außenfelder develops, things will become very fast. Or not, I don't know. My income has been reduced by quite a lot, and I also keep giving money to my vassals. I gave something like 2,000 or 3,000 coins to my vassals over the past few days so they can develop their civilizations, which I hope will yield returns. I don't know if we'll ever be able to overcome Bukovina, although I think, really, there are only 3 truly active civilizations on this server: Bukovina, Solburg, and Carthage. I'm not really sure what's wrong with the scores here, though. My score is suddenly super low. Empire of Doom is super high. Something seems wrong here. Bukovina is a 0? Probably there's just some bug. Whatever. Anyway, we seem to be the only ones that are really doing anything, and everybody else just seems to be either not doing anything or doing things so slowly that it's not even worth thinking about them. What's not worth thinking about them? Dummy subject. Schweineland of Tolles Filet. Hey. I guess I'm not speaking very well today. Sometimes I'm more concise, and other times, I don't know. Anyway, I upgraded a lot of these farms, and then I just didn't use their extra capacity for resources because, say it together with me, I forgot. Oh well, whatever. I'll do it sometime, eventually. Anyway, the goal is now just to expand wheat and apple production, wheat, apple, and cider production, wheat, apple, cider, and coke production. Do all of that, export the coke, and make everybody in my civilization much richer. So I'll be back once something has happened. I don't know. So I was sitting here thinking about my YouTube series and how people on the Discord server had talked to me about it, said they watch it, and how one of my vassals, or 2 of them actually, watched the series. And I thought, well, the next episode will be very interesting because of all the stuff I recorded. Oh wait! Oh no! I forgot again! So I'm back, finally. I won't tell you how long has passed since I last recorded, but suffice to say, it's been a while. I finally finished developing all of this land, and also I noticed there's a little bit in here that I finished developing as well. And so now my wheat, those are horses, my wheat consumption is at 99%. Woohoo. And apples are at 96%. Woohoo. And cider is at 68%. Yeah, I'm working on it. That one's a bit difficult, because I need more pottery for that and more apples. And apples, of course, I'm getting from Außenfelder, and Außenfelder still is not producing enough apples, because one farm in Außenfelder produces 7 apples. And these guys need a lot of apples. Lots and lots and lots and lots of apples. And so I think I need probably two or three more apple farms to finally suffice for all of the cider. I also, as you can see, upgraded a lot of these houses, which is where all of my bricks went. And I still have many more to upgrade. I also deleted a lot of these elders' councils because these magistrates are just way better. I need 2 magistrates to do as much as, I think, 10 elders' councils. It's super great. There it is, 97%. Fantastic. So I can use my people for other things. I also finally unlocked diagnosis. I don't know if I recorded any of that, but I tried to get diagnosis many times over many days, and it had something like a 15% chance or something like that to succeed. And as the intelligence of my people kept increasing, the likelihood kept increasing, and it finally finished when it was at it succeeded. I mean, when it was at 48%, something like that. Anyway, I also got Coke. I mentioned that last time, right? I don't remember. I also got arithmetics, diagnosis, and metrology, which I researched at my fancy schmancy new academia, which is plural actually. It should be academy, singular, but whatever. Anyway, here it is. It increases the intelligence of my population massively. Population intelligence is now 75. That's super, super good. Anyway, to get the next level technologies, I need much, much more intelligent population. They're difficulty 200, some of them. This philosophy one is just always at 0. Always. My philosophers, the people who work at my academy, have a 0% chance because it's 200 difficulty. So, can't do it. I also can get level 4 potters if I just get 30-10, but 10 is a little difficult to get in that quantity. It's been rather rare this whole time, so I've decided to... Maybe I'll just deactivate all bronze production. No more bronze. We'll just do entirely tin. So the tin will be used for anything, we'll just make tin, and hopefully that will help in the future. And I'll do something with these people I just created later, freed. Anyway, I also built many more kilns, which then are using coal I'm importing from Kupferhügel to make coke, and the coke then is used in all of my manufactories. It's just way better. Coke is much more efficient and also doesn't use wood, so my wood problem was finally solved. I'm only using wood now to make planks. So I hardly need any wood, which is working really well for me. Oh, right, because I turned off the smeltery. Ah, yeah. Let's make tin a state resource actually, because I'll need to spend money on it when I research that technology anyway, so it doesn't matter. I'm not sure why these places aren't making money, my cider mills and bakeries, but it's fine because they're still producing plenty of bread and cider. Where's bread? There's bread. 99%. We're fine. Also, I have too many carrots. I've upgraded a lot of my farms as well. What else? I'm importing a lot of leather, and I'm making a lot of leather cloth now. As you can see here, that's leather, and leather cloth is somewhere around here. There it is. We're at 72% leather cloth and 95% regular cloth. So that's all good. I also am creating plaster because I am mining limestone at Kupferhügel and importing that. So I can build these higher level fancy buildings, namely the academia. Also schools, although those aren't necessary anymore. There's something else I can build with the plaster, but I don't remember what it is. Anyway, mostly just accumulating it now. I assume I'll need a lot of it later. I don't know though. Unfortunately, I just need the Iron Age. I need to be able to access saws, but I can't access saws, so I don't know what to do. What else can I do before I show you my other settlements? And I definitely will, because much has been built. I upgraded all my ports. Oh, no, not this one. Okay, I upgraded most of my ports. And now we are producing tons of cargo, which I can then tax. And my vassals use it too. I need to turn this back on, I just remembered, because we're almost out of bricks. It's also something for my people to do. Okay, anyway, let's go to other settlements now, because there's nothing else to see in Solburg. It's mostly just waiting on my other settlements to develop and my research projects to complete and stuff. The population has increased a little bit. 1305, not bad. Anyway, let's go. So, here's the world. I sent some expeditions into the sea. That one discovered nothing, but this one discovered the north, the most north, the northiest north. There's nothing up here. I looked at these tiles, they are just stone. And that's it. So, it's not really a great discovery. Also, each of these tiles costs as much as a mountain to cross. So it's just nothing but mountains. Okay, well, I guess I won't go up there considering there are no resources and nothing but mountains. Cool. My people have built more settlements. This is a colony of Donakulda. It has been made into a colony. We're now waiting on someone to inherit it. I haven't found any takers, unfortunately. My advertising has not yielded many results, but I'm sure it will at some point. Also, my vassal mated Tilsit, which was a German city before the Second World War, but then it became a part of Russia after the Second World War. Anyway, he's expanded a little bit, though he's been quite disappointing. He hasn't expanded very much. Anyway, I think I'll do the old civilization tour because I should do that once in a while, and quite a lot has happened. My settlements, however, have not expanded very much. I built a few stone cutters in Kupferhügel and some coal mines, and I built a few more clay diggers in Tongrube. Otherwise, though, things have not been terribly interesting on that front. However, Außenfelder looks pretty good, so I'll show you that. Well, Außenfelder has a population of 126, or no, 120 now. Can't read it because of that bad font and its black outline, whatever. Population is still increasing quite a lot, exporting lots of apples. Here the apples are being grown. I also am producing a lot of sheep here. I'm trying to expand basically everything. And it's going rather well. I just need to produce more hoes, more apples to ship here, to expand the farms, and of course this place needs more and more and more and more population. The active population is actually only 27. So there's really been a population increase of 17. Only 17 important people have appeared since this place's founding. But, oh well, whatever. In any case, this is all that Außenfelder appears to be for now. However, it will become much better later once I get around to expanding it. Now, of course, we need to look at my vassals. This is Helsingörs, and I must say I am disappointed. The advertisement for this place indicated that I wanted an active player who would expand and develop the economy, because this was to be the front against the south. And this guy, Hermes, has logged in at most once per day, briefly, and I have been very disappointed with his lack of activity. And he is a noob, and I thought that would be a good thing, but he's a noob that's not very active. So I'm just disappointed. Look at these full stockpiles. What is this? Use your resources. Oh, so disappointing. Oh well, anyway. He also made Tilsit, but it's not worth looking at. It is just a tiny mining town. It has a couple mines and a couple farms, and that's all. Oh well, I won't show you the southernmost colony either. It's really nothing to see. It was given enough infrastructure to support 150 population and then just left. And so Porkamore down here will just stay as it is. I hope to get a taker at some point, because I could then claim the rest of these mountains. Not that it really matters. I don't need to stake a claim on this whole peninsula because I'm not being challenged by anybody. These cities down here, which have become transparent suddenly, that's a little strange. Anyway, these are not owned by anybody. There are no players down here. This guy is apparently active, but he hasn't accepted my treaty, so I don't think he's actually active. Nothing down here matters. Oh yeah, this string of cities as well was made by Shock over here, who was doing, quote, an experiment, end quote. I don't know what the experiment was, but it apparently involved making a lot of cities. I assume he's trying to make some kind of highway over to the other continent or something. I don't know. Anyway, he's mostly out of the game now because apparently he lost one of his best cities, this one, to rebels because a bunch of new players joined his civilization and messed with it and then left and ruined everything. At least that's what he said. And so he was so annoyed with that he just decided he'd stop playing the game. On this server, rather. So I am basically alone on this continent, which annoys me. I think also the maps on these servers are just far too large anyway. Even if this continent were filled with active players, there'd still be plenty of room for everybody. There's not really any warfare over limited space. There's just... these maps are just too big. Oh well. Oh, so I wanted to mention that I'm researching algebra, which hopefully will be good for something, some point. Oh yeah, I can build level 3 doctors. That's what I wanted to show. I forgot. Oh well, I'll do that too. Porkamore's not worth seeing. Titisit's not worth seeing. I'll show you Pharos and Woodcut, actually. They've had some development. So Donakulda is doing an interesting strategy in that he's building houses and amenities and life things in all of his settlements, not just his capital. I don't agree with that. I think that consumes far more resources than is necessary. But regardless, here is Pharos, which I think is much larger than his capital at this point. It has many houses, and he's built them all along the coast. He's following my example. Oh, I'm so proud of myself, of course, not of him. He also has stockpiles that are not completely full because he's using his resources, although he apparently has way too much copper. He has tons of farms, mini farms, woodcutters. Speaking of woodcutters, I keep telling these people, I'm producing a surplus of coke. I can export coke to them. They won't need to use wood anymore because I can supply all of their fuel needs, and none of them will use the offer. They just seem to not even care that I could make their civilizations much better. Whatever. Anyway, that's Pharos. I will show you Ultros and Woodcut as well. However, I need to hurry because this section's already gone 15 minutes and this will be the last section of this video, and so I need to finish recording it so I can edit the video and then process it and upload it, and all that takes many hours. Anyway, Solburg also has a different icon on the map now because it's so cool. Let's look at Ultros. Let's actually not look at Ultros because it hasn't changed very much. There's just this foundry there and a couple houses. Other than that, it's the same as the last time you saw it. So let's instead look at Woodcut, which has not had much agricultural expansion, oddly. I guess he's focusing on Pharos for that. And it has, however, had a lot of house expansion. And I keep telling these people, I can give them the resources to build higher level houses, I can give them axes, I can give them everything they need, and they won't, I don't know why, they stopped asking for resources. And I suspect it's because they're not playing very much, and yes, that's all Woodcut, there's not much to see. Next, we'll just go to Swinville and Suamar, because you don't really need to see the small mining settlements. I just realized I will have to sort through all of this footage and edit all of the sections because I'm skipping all the loading screens, of course, so I'll have to edit out all of the audio between the loading screens. Oh, why am I doing this? Anyway, this is Swinville. Oh no, I have to put forth effort to make a video. What? Effort? Who does that? Swinville also has not been developed so much because this guy, Redman, also is not logging in so very much as can be seen from his full stockpiles. He said that he would found another settlement, and then he didn't, and I asked him why, and he said he had negative income, so I sent him 1,000 coins, and he proceeded to do nothing, apparently, with the money. And I guess it's gone now because he had negative income. Anyway, he's built some stuff, but he just doesn't seem to be using his land very efficiently. Oh well, whatever. He won't take my offers to provide him resources, so he shall remain as he is. And last here is Zilbakam, not Suamar. Its real name is Zilbakam. I am also disappointed with Fallen, although he did tell me that he would not log in very much. So when I admitted him into the state, I already knew this would happen. Anyway, he's not using his resources. Again, he's all this silver he's not smelting, all these extra things he's not using. Oh, I'm so annoyed. If only people just spent all of their time playing Ymir. Why do they have to have things like lives? He needs to do that. Video games, they're much more important. Anyway, he's built many houses, and that's about it, I think. More farms. And that's the thing. All of my vassals haven't really developed their industries all that much, with the exception of Donakulda, as you saw. Woodcut and Faros have quite a lot of industries. They're very nice, although I didn't look at them very closely. I just sort of skimmed over them very briefly. I just wanted you to see that there were industries. I didn't want to actually look specifically at the industries. Anyway, Fallen has informed me that to our west there might be land. He says he thinks there might be land about 8 tiles to the west. So that would be over here. That's certainly possible, but I'm a bit confused with that. How does he think there might be land? Either there is or there isn't. Like, can you see land there? If not, then there isn't any. Also, he might be referring to the east, not the west, because I know there's another continent over here. Not sure about over here, though. This might just be open ocean. But anyway, I plan to send a bunch of people out across the ocean to die looking for land. Because why not? Maybe they'll find something cool, and I can make a city over there, and it'll just be funny. I don't know. Anyway, I don't know what I don't know what I'm waiting for. I don't really have set intervals for recordings anymore. I don't do it once per day. I don't have set goals with the civilization anymore. I'm just kind of sitting around, really. I'm developing Außenbilder. Other than that, I don't really have a lot to do. I'm just waiting for the population to increase, technologies to be researched, waiting for my vassals to do things, trying to help them. Oh well. Anyway, as always, I'll be back at some point for some reason when something happens, I think, maybe.